This is the plaintiff, Daisy Hernandez. She says she hired the defendants to remodel her bathroom, and they stole the extra copper pipes and materials and sold them on the black market. This case was filed out of principle because she let them come into her home, thought she could trust them, and just wants the value of her stolen goods returned. Therefore, she's suing for $207.16, the amount owed. These are the defendants, Jose Hernandez and Javier Benitez. They say the plaintiff lady is a trip, that's for sure. All they know is they did the job and then got a frantic call accusing them of stealing old pipes. They did nothing of the sort and are quite angry this woman's trying to ruin their good name and reputation by filing this lawsuit. They're accused of pilfering pipes. The defendants have filed a countersuit for $3,000 for defamation and ruining a reputation.
Okay, Daisy Hernandez, you are suing Jose Hernandez and Javier Benitez for $207.16 because he didn't finish a paint job, he stole scraps and copper pipes and caused you to buy a tub spout that was never used. Okay, what's going on?
Well, I own a 4-family home. It's a duplex. My niece lives on one side and my brother on one side, and I live on the other side and another tenant. We were remodeling my niece's bathroom, and he came to the home, he looked at the job, he gave us an estimate, we said, good.
And what was the estimate?
The estimate was for $2,000
Was
at
that
that time.
including materials or not exclusive of materials?
That was not including the materials.
Okay.
I was to pay the materials. When we got the permits, I later found out he didn't have neither the construction license nor the electrical license. He got other people to sign for that.
Okay, now what is this lawsuit about, though? Because the job was completed, correct? You paid them for the completed job without objection, but you later find out that there are some scraps that didn't remain? Is that
right? What happened was we had the plumbing redone, so pipes were in the basement, and at that time we weren't using the basement because we were doing our laundry elsewhere. We were going to laundromats. He finished on a Thursday. When we went down on that Saturday to start doing our laundry there, we realized that the scraps that were left there weren't there.
But how much scraps are we talking about?
Well, we had, I submitted a bunch of receipts for all the copper that I purchased. So if I purchased
but I don't know
copper,
how, I saw that. You submitted all your Home Depot receipts for the renovation of the bathroom, but I don't know which of those were used and which of those were not used, so I have to ask you what was left over.
There was 3 whole new copper pipes, which I was going to return.
Which were how long?
They were about 10 feet. They were long, and then all the little pieces from when they removed it.
How do you know there were 3 long copper pipes?
I saw them.
You saw them when?
Before the end of the job.
Do you have any discussion with them? By the way, who's doing the job actually? Javier?
I see Javier.
Which of the 2 of you is Javier? Okay. Did you ever meet Jose?
No.
His name was, he was traveling under his permit.
Right.
So
well, what happened was Javier brought some people to my home, and first I thought that guy was Jose, but then later on I heard that it was this guy named Chino.
Okay, so it's not Chino.
So it wasn't, yeah.
All right. So when you see it 5 days before completion, do you say to him, hey, is there any discussion about the stuff that's in the...
He talked with my brother about it. He said, hey,
where's your brother?
My brother's not here.
Why not?
He's working.
Do you have an affidavit from him?
No, I just have his power of attorney.
Okay, so go on.
He said, Javier asked, what are you going to do with the salvage stuff? And we said, we're going to take care of it.
Okay.
Because Javier also... in speaking with me, had mentioned the debris, like the tiles and all that. He wanted to take that out for a price, and I told him, no, we're going to handle that.
Okay.
So I knew about that, and then he was always trying to split us, my brother and myself, because sometimes I was there and sometimes my brother was there. So then when we noticed the pipes were gone, when we were going to go return stuff, that's when we called him. We said, what happened to the pipes?
Who'd you talk to?
Javier.
And what did he say?
I don't know what you're talking about.
All right, and who did the talking with Javier, your brother or you?
I originally called Javier and I said, listen, what happened to the pipes? And he said, I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, all right. What's going on?
Your Honor, he doesn't speak any English.
Oh, for the love of all that's holy. Are you serious?
Yes.
What do you know? You haven't even been to the place,
No,
right?
but I know as much as that because she calls me like 2-3 weeks later after the job was all completed, complaining to me that I took the material. I said, I don't know what you're talking about. I told her, I said, if you have that argument, call the police and kill a police report.
Okay.
And she said, oh, I'm going to sue you, this and that. I said, lady, do what you got to do, and that was the end of the discussion.
Okay, did you ever talk to him and say to him, hey, what
I
this?
called him right away, and I
And what
asked
did he
him.
say?
He says, I don't know what she's talking about.
Okay. Do you speak English enough for me to?
A little, miss. A little.
Okay. Were there copper pipes in the basement? Había tubería de cobre, ¿no?
Sí, yo lo vi. Yo
It
había,
Yes, I saw them. ¿Usted trabajó con esa tubería? Did you work with that pipe?
bueno, algunos pedazos
Well, some parts.
de media que faltaba para que
Parts of it, that halves of it that were
para que
missing.
no gastara ella, yo lo usaba. Pero
that I would use so she wouldn't have
yo
to
lo
buy.
vi.
I saw them.
Pero me llama después de 5 días.
But she calls me after
porque
5 days.
ella no está reclamando el trabajo porque pasó
And she's not
electricidad,
complaining about the
plomería,
job because
electricidad pasó
everything
bien.
passed and got inspected and
Ella lo
was
que está
approved.
reclamando es su tubería, pero yo no
What
agarró la
she's claiming
tubería.
is that I
Si ella
took
tiene
that-
pruebas que yo
those
lo he
pipes and I
agarrado,
did
pues
it.
que me muestre la prueba.
If she has proof that I took them, then show me
¿Entiendes?
the
Ahora,
proof.
eso es todo, yo no agarro nada.
That's it. I didn't take anything.
Si ella tiene pruebas, que me diga. Si ella me ha visto,
Did
alguien
you
me ha
call the
visto.
police?
I did not. I
What
felt
proof do
it
you
was,
have
I
that
thought
he
it was a
took it?
civil matter. Excuse me?
Well, it is. It's a civil and a criminal. If you can prove it's stolen, it's a criminal matter. The standard of proof in a civil case is lower than the standard of proof in a criminal case. Standard of proof in a criminal case is beyond and to the exclusion of every reasonable doubt. The standard of proof in a civil case is by a preponderance of the evidence. That means it's more likely than not.
So is this enough for the plaintiff to win?
No, she didn't see him take it. She doesn't know where it is.
She says they're the only ones that would have had an opportunity to take it. What do you think?
There's still reasonable doubt, so we can't prove that there's a cause and effect between the two.
But reasonable doubt's a criminal case. She has to kind of tip the scales. Did she even do that? What do you think, sir?
Yeah, she didn't.
I have absolutely no idea what you said. Your voice is so low, but I'll take that as a no. Is that right? Okay. Was that yes or no? Got it. Going inside the courtroom.
I understand that you had people doing work in your house.
No, I just
But
had.
I understand that you had people, I just pointed to him, doing work in your house.
Right.
But I also understand that there's a lot of other people with access to a basement that you didn't go to. How are you going to prove that he took it?
To get to the basement, there was a.
I don't know your brother who's not here didn't take it.
Right.
And sell it.
But my brother was working anyway. When
I
he
don't
was
know.
working during the day.
I don't know. How do I know that he took it? There's a reason you didn't call the police. And the reason you didn't call the police is because you know that the first question the police are going to ask you is, how do I know he took it? I mean, I understand why you feel he might have taken $40. I don't even know how you come up to $207 for a couple of scrap metals of copper.
Well,
and by the way, when you sue for a tub spout never used, what does that mean?
He would, when the bathroom was complete, it wasn't working. It passed inspection, but it was leaking. And I told him, look, you got to fix that before I finish paying you. He took stuff apart. He put stuff together. He said, oh, we need a new spout. We went and we bought this new spout. He took off the old spout, put this new spout. Then somebody else, the guy named Chino, came in with and said, no, that's not right. Took off this old spout, fixed the one that originally was on. And he said, you can return this one. When I went to return it, it's missing. It comes with a little Allen wrench. It's missing, and the hardware store wouldn't take it back.
What did that cost you?
$12 and...
Are you serious? I mean, you know, when you do a renovation of a bathroom, you understand that no one can calculate exactly to the exact nano-specific moment, you know, so that you don't have anything left over. I mean,
No, I'm
sometimes
not
that
saying
happens
that.
when
But
you're
the
trying to
thing is,
fix a
I
leak.
couldn't
You're suing for
return that.
$12 for the spout?
I couldn't
All right.
return that,
Ms.
John.
Hernandez, with all due respect, I understand that you've got your gut, and but in court, I have to have, at a minimum, more likely than not, that man stole that piping. At a minimum, more likely than not. And I don't feel
He
that,
only-
and I'm
he-
not going to
Okay.
grant
How about the
your...
painting, Your Honor?
Do you hear me talking when you talk over me?
I'm sorry.
All right? You've never had... All of a sudden, you've thrown in, oh, well, there's bad painting. You've never had that complaint. You paid them completely when they left. You're not the kind of person who pays with a job half done or poorly done, because you wouldn't pay them even though you passed inspection until you had to go out and buy a $12 spout that you're now complaining about. So I'm not going to buy the how about the painting part. All right? Now, you've got a counterclaim against her for $5,000, $3,000 because you feel like she's taking your reputation down. No. She feels she's right. She sues. She's wrong. Your remedy is to win, like you're about to win. It's not to get $5,000 out of her for having the nerve to assert her rights to go to court and try. Okay? So on your counterclaim 0, on your claim 0.
Well, zeros on both sides of the scoreboard here as your case gets thrown out. What's your reaction to getting nothing?
I think that she just didn't really listen to what I was trying to say.
She did. What are you going to do with the scrap anyway? If you have a few pipes, what are you going to do with them?
We had about, I'd say, 30 pounds. I
And
mean, I have enough receipts in here
what can
to
you do
prove
with
how
it?
much.
Build
Well, you
another
take it to a
bathroom?
salvage yard,
Oh.
and I
You get a
called
few
several
bucks for it?
salvage yards, and yes, and they're between $2 and $2.35 a pound. And if you got 30 pounds, that's $60 back in my pocket.
All right, right down this way. Okay, thank you very much. Okay. All right, sir. So come on in here. She gets nothing. She couldn't prove you stole the pipes or anything. What's your reaction to this outcome?
Well, I'm glad that we won the case, and basically that's
Is there
it.
a secondary market? I mean, is there a place could you sell pipes to other plumbers on other jobs, copper and
No,
stuff?
no. It's not even worth
He's
it.
nodding yes, and you're saying no.
No less on the market. I mean, I usually don't sell any scrap or anything like that. It's not worth it to us.
No, but you could, right?
You could if you want to sell it.
Harvey?
Okay, in order to win in a civil case, you don't have to see the person do it, but you have to prove your case as more than a hunch. If you can't kind of tip the scales, you're going to lose.